I watched her pack a weekend bag for a trip with her ex-boyfriend while I sat at the kitchen table with my phone open to the venue's cancellation policy, realizing I had exactly 48 hours left in their full refund window. Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. It was a Thursday afternoon in late September in Minneapolis, and I was working from home like I did most Thursdays. I'm 34, been with the same logistics company for 6 years, and my life had settled into a comfortable rhythm. Lauren was 32, worked as a dental hygienist at a practice in Edina, and we'd been together for 3 years. We'd been living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Uptown for the past 18 months, splitting rent down the middle, names both on the lease. That morning felt normal. I made coffee. She left for work at 7:30 like always, kissed me on the cheek, said she'd pick up groceries on the way home. I spent the day answering emails, coordinating shipments, the usual grind. She texted around 2 saying she'd be home late, grabbing drinks with her coworker Amanda. Nothing unusual there. She walked in around 6:30 carrying a single small bag from Whole Foods, not the usual grocery haul. She seemed distracted, kept checking her phone while putting away a container of hummus and some sparkling water. I asked how Amanda was doing, and she said fine, barely looking up. Then she went to the bedroom, and I heard drawers opening and closing. I gave it 10 minutes before I followed. She had her black overnight bag on the bed, the one she used for conferences, and she was folding a sweater into it. Going somewhere? I asked. She didn't stop packing. Yeah, actually. This weekend. I meant to tell you earlier. Tell me what? She zipped a toiletry case. Trevor's in town. He's got a cabin rental up near Duluth. Invited a few people. I'm driving up Saturday morning, coming back Sunday night. Trevor. Her ex-boyfriend from college. They'd dated for 2 years, broke up about 5 years ago, stayed friendly. I'd met him once at a barbecue. Seemed like an okay guy, but I'd never thought much about him. Okay, I said slowly. Who else is going? Just a few of his friends from grad school. People I don't really know. I waited for her to add something, to say I should come along, to make it sound like a group thing that included me. She just kept packing. So you're going to spend the weekend at a cabin with your ex-boyfriend and a bunch of strangers, I said, keeping my voice level. She finally looked at me. It's not like that. We're friends. And honestly, it would be weird if you came. These are his friends. It's his thing. You just feel out of place. There it was. Not an invitation. Not an apology. Just a flat statement that I wasn't welcome and wouldn't fit in. You're telling me I'd be out of place at an event my girlfriend is attending with her ex, I said. Don't make it sound like that, she said, rolling her eyes. It's a weekend with friends. You're being insecure. I felt something click into place in my head. Not anger, exactly. More like clarity. She was going to spend a weekend in a romantic cabin setting with an ex-boyfriend, had specifically told me I wasn't wanted there, and was now calling me insecure for having a problem with it. I thought about the ring I'd been looking at for the past month. Not purchased yet, but I'd put down a $500 deposit at a jeweler in downtown Minneapolis to hold it while they sized it. I thought about the venue deposit we'd discussed, the farm venue out in Stillwater that Lauren had been obsessing over, the one that required a $3,000 deposit to hold a date next fall. I transferred that $3,000 to her account 2 weeks ago because the venue wanted a single payment and she'd volunteered to handle the booking. She was supposed to call them and confirm our date. I checked our shared Google Calendar that morning, and the venue tour we'd scheduled for next month was still there. Okay, I said. Have a good trip. She blinked, surprised. Really? You're fine with it? You've made your decision, I said. I'm not going to argue. She smiled, actually looked relieved. Thank you. I knew you'd understand once you thought about it. I went back to the living room and opened my laptop. First, I pulled up my email and found the receipt from the jeweler. I called the number on it, got a woman named Patricia who confirmed that since I was still within the 30-day deposit window and the ring wasn't custom, I could get a full refund. I told her I'd be in tomorrow to handle the paperwork. Next, I checked my bank account. The $3,000 transfer to Lauren showed a date of September 9th. I took a screenshot. Then I opened my text messages and scrolled back to our conversation from that day. She'd sent me. Got the venue info. I'll call them Monday and lock in October 12th next year. This is really happening, with 3 heart emojis. I took a screenshot of that too. I called the venue, a place called Riverbend Meadows. A cheerful woman answered, and I explained I needed to discuss a deposit. She asked for the name and date. Actually, I need to know if a deposit has been submitted yet, I said. The reservation would be under Lauren Pritchard or Daniel Moss for October 12th next year. I heard typing. I don't see any completed bookings under those names. We have you down for a tour on October 19th this year, but no deposit has been processed. My stomach tightened. Can you check if there's a pending payment? More typing. No, nothing pending either. Did you submit something recently? Not personally, I said. Thank you for checking. I sat there looking at my bank account showing $3,000 gone and the venue saying they'd never received it. Lauren had been sitting on that money for 2 weeks without booking anything. I didn't confront her. Not then. I opened a new tab and started looking at apartments. Friday, I took a personal day. Lauren left for work at the usual time, mentioning she'd be packing more when she got home that evening. I waited until 8:30, then drove to the jeweler and collected my $500. Patricia processed the refund with no questions, handed me a receipt showing the return. Then I spent 4 hours looking at studio and one-bedroom apartments. I found one in northeast Minneapolis, smaller than what I had now, but affordable on just my salary. The landlord could do a move-in for October 1st, just 5 days away. I filled out the application on my phone sitting in the parking lot. I went home and started documenting everything. Our lease showed both names, equal responsibility, running through March. I pulled up our utility bills, internet and electricity in my name. I paid those directly. Water and gas in her name. I took photos of receipts for furniture I'd bought, the coffee table, the bookshelf, the desk in the second bedroom, my bike, my tools. Lauren came home around 6. She packed more clothes, chatted about her day, asked what I wanted for dinner. I said I'd eaten already. She ordered Thai food, ate it on the couch while watching some baking show, then went to bed early. Saturday morning, she was up at 7. I made coffee and watched her load the overnight bag into her car. She kissed me on the cheek, said she'd text when she got there, and drove off. I waited 15 minutes, then called the apartment landlord. He approved my application. I put down the deposit and first month's rent using the $500 from the ring refund and money from my checking account. Then I started packing. I took my clothes, my books, my laptop, and work equipment. I took the coffee table I'd bought, the bookshelf, the desk. I left the couch we'd bought together, left the bed frame she'd brought from her old place, left the kitchen table that had been a gift from her parents. I took my tools, my bike, my hiking gear. I unscrewed my TV from the wall mount and packed it carefully in the back of my SUV. I made 3 trips. By 4 in the afternoon, my things were in the new apartment and I was back at the old place with a notepad. I wrote out the bills. Internet and electricity were mine, total about $160 a month. I paid those through October 15th, giving her 2 weeks to transfer them to her name or cancel them. I left the account numbers and customer service numbers on the note. Water and gas were hers, not my problem. Rent was the bigger issue. We were both on the lease through March. I drafted an email to our landlord, explained I was moving out, but understood my legal obligation continued through the lease term. I offered to keep paying my half through March or to discuss options for finding a replacement tenant. I copied Lauren on the email so there'd be a record. Then I sat down and wrote her a letter. I kept it short. Lauren, I've moved out. My half of rent will continue to be paid per our lease obligation. I've paid internet and electricity through October 15th. Account information is on the kitchen counter. I've taken only my personal belongings and furniture I purchased. I'm not interested in discussing the relationship or the reasons. I need you to return the $3,000 I gave you for the venue deposit, since that booking was never made. Please send a check to my new address or transfer it electronically. My number will be disconnected from this point forward for personal calls, but you can reach me via email for logistical matters only. I left it on the kitchen counter next to my keys to the apartment. By 6, I was sitting in my new studio with a sandwich from the deli downstairs, updating my address with work and my bank. I blocked Lauren's number. I blocked her on social media. I sent a brief email to my parents and my sister letting them know I'd moved and was no longer with Lauren, and I'd explain more later, but was fine. Sunday evening, my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. The message was Lauren, voice high and confused. Daniel, what the hell? I came home and half the apartment is gone, and you left this insane note. Where are you? Why aren't you answering? Call me back right now. I deleted it. An hour later, my email dinged. Lauren had sent a message with the subject line, "What is going on? You moved out while I was gone? Without even talking to me? This is crazy. You can't just leave like this. We need to talk. Call me. I don't understand what I did wrong. Are you seriously this mad about the weekend? I'm coming back right now. We need to deal with this." I wrote back, "I'm not discussing the relationship. The practical matters are outlined in my letter. Please arrange return of the venue deposit funds." She called from another number. I didn't answer. Monday, I went to work and told my supervisor I'd moved and updated my address in HR. I didn't offer details, and he didn't ask. Lauren sent 4 emails that day. The first was apologetic. "I'm sorry if the trip upset you. I didn't think it was a big deal. Can we please just talk?" The second was confused. "I talked to Amanda, and she said you're being totally reasonable, and I should respect your boundaries, but I don't even know what boundary I crossed. Please help me understand." The third was angry. "You know what? This is ridiculous. You're acting like a child. Grown adults talk about their problems. They don't just disappear. And you want $3,000? For what? We didn't even book the venue yet." The fourth was past midnight. "I checked my account, and you're right. The money is there. I was going to call them this week. I just got busy. I'll send it back. But this doesn't mean we're done. You don't get to just decide that by yourself." Tuesday, she sent a check in the mail to my new address for $3,000. She also sent an email saying she dropped it off, and could I please just meet her for coffee to talk. I deposited the check. I didn't respond to the email. Wednesday, her mother called my phone. I'd forgotten to block that number. I answered without thinking. "Daniel, sweetheart, what happened?" Lauren is beside herself. "Mrs. Pritchard, I appreciate your concern, but this is between Lauren and me. She said you moved out without warning. That's not like you. I gave appropriate notice regarding our practical obligations," I said. "I'm not discussing the personal aspects. Did she do something? She won't tell me what happened." "That's her choice," I said. "I need to go. Take care." I hung up and blocked the number. Thursday, a mutual friend named Derek texted, "Hey man, Lauren asked me to check if you're okay. She's worried." I replied, "I'm fine. I've moved out, and we're no longer together. I'd appreciate if this didn't become a group discussion." He sent back, "Understood. Let me know if you need anything." Over the next 2 weeks, Lauren tried reaching me through 3 more people: her sister, a coworker of mine she'd met at a company party, and a guy from our old gym. I gave them all the same message. I was fine. It was over. Please respect my privacy. Her emails slowed down, but didn't stop. She sent one every few days, cycling through emotions. Anger. "You're a coward for not even telling me what I did." Bargaining. "What if I promised never to see Trevor again?" Sadness. "I can't believe you threw away 3 years over one weekend." I set up an email filter that moved her messages to a folder. I checked it once a week to make sure there was nothing about the lease or bills. There never was. The lease was the one ongoing thread. I paid my half of the rent on time every month. Our landlord emailed in early October saying Lauren had asked about breaking the lease early. He said she'd need both our signatures or she'd have to pay a penalty. I replied that I was willing to sign off on an early termination if she covered the penalty, or I'd continue paying my half through March as agreed. He said he'd let her know. She never took either option. We both kept paying through the lease term. In late October, I ran into Trevor at a coffee shop in Northeast. He was with another woman, had his arm around her, laughing at something on her phone. He didn't see me. I didn't approach him. 2 weeks later, Lauren sent an email with the subject line, "I know you won't respond, but I need to say this." The message said, "Trevor and I aren't together, if that's what you thought. Nothing happened that weekend. But I guess it doesn't matter because you already decided I was guilty. He's actually engaged now, been with someone else for months. I told you it was just a friend's thing. You ruined everything over nothing." I felt nothing reading it. If Trevor was engaged to someone else, that didn't change the fact that Lauren had chosen to spend a weekend with him and told me I'd be out of place there. It didn't change the fact that she'd been sitting on $3,000 of my money without booking the venue. It didn't change the way she'd called me insecure for having a boundary. I didn't respond. December came. The apartment lease was running out. I'd renewed my studio through next August. Lauren sent an email in mid-December. "I'm moving back to my parents' place for a while. I can't afford the apartment by myself, and I'm not signing another lease there. I guess you got what you wanted." I didn't want anything except to be left alone. I didn't reply. A week before Christmas, I was having lunch at a Vietnamese place near my office. I was reading something on my phone when someone slid into the booth across from me. Lauren. She looked tired, thinner than I remembered. Her hair was shorter. Please don't leave, she said. I'm not here to fight. I set my phone down. What do you need? I just want to understand, she said. We were fine. We were planning a wedding. And then one weekend, it's all gone. You won't talk to me, won't explain, won't give me a chance to fix whatever I broke. There's nothing to fix, I said. That's not an answer. I took a breath. You wanted to spend a romantic weekend with your ex-boyfriend. You told me I wasn't welcome. You called me insecure for having a problem with it. You took $3,000 of my money and didn't do what you said you'd do with it. Those aren't things I'm interested in fixing or discussing. They're things I'm walking away from. It wasn't romantic, she said. It was just a cabin. And I gave the money back. 2 weeks later, after I'd already left. I was busy. I forgot. You forgot $3,000. She closed her eyes. I made a mistake. I should have invited you. I should have been more careful with the money. But you didn't even give me a chance to make it right. I'm not interested in chances, I said. I'm interested in patterns. The trip told me what I needed to know. That I'm a terrible person. That we wanted different things. She sat there for a moment, then slid back out of the booth. I hope you're happy, Daniel. I am, I said. And I meant it. She walked out. I finished my lunch, went back to work, and didn't think about it again. It's been a year now. I still live in the studio. I've been seeing someone new for a few months, a woman named Rachel who works in urban planning. We take things slow, talk about boundaries, split everything down the middle. It's easy. It's calm. I don't know what Lauren is doing, and I don't check. That part of my life is filed away with the lease documents and the venue screenshots, evidence of something that happened once and taught me what quiet power actually looks like. So what do you think? Was I too harsh, or did I handle it the right way? Let me know in the comments below.